Good afternoon, Dr. Gary here, Dr. Gary on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. So today's topic is, when selling a dental practice to either a DSO or a private party, who's responsible to create the contract, the sales contract, or APA, asset purchase agreement? So we're going to get into that because it depends who the buyer is. So some of the things about our company, we've been doing dental practice brokerage for 11 years. I was a dentist for 25. And we now have 10 employees, and we're involved in 20 states. So we're excited. We're moving forward. Our website is dentalpracticeguide.com. And our phone number is 201-663-0935. 201-663-0935. The information you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes. It's not legal or business advice. You can reach us every day except Christmas and Easter. And we answer the phone East Coast time about 7:30 a.m. to about 9:30 p.m. So feel free to call us, especially if you're a seller selling a large deed. You want to sell to a DSO, they'll pay our commission, and often based on certain criteria, we'll get your legal fees, the entire amount reimbursed at closing, depending on criteria. Anyway, so let's talk about contracts today. Who's responsible? If you're a seller, who's responsible to write the contracts? First and foremost, if you're selling to a DSO, historically, they always present a contract to you. The reason why, it's 40, 50 pages. They have terminology in there that you'll never be able to put in. You'll never be able to recreate for them. They have specific guidelines that they want in their contracts. So if you're selling to a DSO, the DSO, Dental Services Organization, Corporate Dentistry, they will provide to you a contract, to you and your attorney. Hopefully you're going to a dental attorney, as we've spoken multiple times, because only a dental attorney is going to really be able to get through it, because it's 40, 50 pages. And they've been using the same contract for a while. Obviously, there's a lot of tweaking that can occur to the contract. Negotiation, tweaking, etc., that has to occur. But historically, if you're selling to a DSO, they're going to write the contract. Now, your attorney is going to have to spend a fair amount of time. That's why we're an advocate for dental attorneys. We're not saying you're unintelligent or you don't understand it. You have to become part of the process. But read the contract thoroughly and raise all the questions to your attorney, your dental attorney. And remember, it's not always just what's in the contract, but what may be missing from the contract. So take it seriously. This is your entire estate. You don't want to be burdening your estate with if there's a problem down the road. If there is a problem down the road, the only thing you have to go back on is contract. That's it. It's not handshakes. It's the contract. If there's amendments that are made to the contract later on, that's a different story. They'll have to be attached to the original contract. But you want something that's going to protect you and your estate for many years after the time which you pass on. Hopefully you're going to live to 100. I want to live to 110. Looking good because I have fun every day. Now, when it comes to a private sale, the seller's selling to a private individual. He's getting bank financing, etc. It's really the seller's responsibility. The seller has the upper hand. Let the seller create the contract. And you can tweak the contract in your direction a bit, but you still want to be fair to the buyer. But the seller should be creating that contract in that circumstance. All right, because that's a simple 10, 12-page contract, or 18 pages, 20 pages. It's not 40, 50 pages like the DSO does. So let you as the seller create the contract. The costs are going to vary. A small private office, small office, grossing $500,000, selling to a private individual, getting standard bank financing. Maybe that's a $5,000 to $10,000 range, $4,000 to $10,000, depending what region of the country you're in. but you want your attorney, you want your dental attorney to create that. You don't want to use a boilerplate contract because there could be a phrase or two you're omitting, and years down the road, you look at your contract and you go, oh my God, I didn't realize it said that. So be careful with that. So let the dental attorney create it. So you as the seller, when selling to a private individual, you create the contract. All right? Either way, if the buyer insists on creating it, I mean, that's up to you. But it's still going to cost you the same money as the seller because you have to review the other attorney has to review the entire contract and tweak it the way he wants it. So either way, you're paying the same money. So that's what happens on a private contract. So repeating, DSO, they'll create their own. It'll be you have to get through it. That cost and that's expensive. If you're a seller, that's going to be, could be 30, depends how many offices you have. 35, 50,000, could be 75,000 or higher, depending on how many offices we're talking about and how large a transaction it is. All right, and don't forget the DSO is going to be creating some employment contracts. So they have to be scrutinized also, which is also helpful that you don't have a partner going into this. All right, because now the partner has to go through it. He may want to have his own attorney review everything. Doesn't mean because you're a partner, you've worked with each other for many years that you're going to get along. We had one that someone had a 4% share and they were a little bit of a headache. But even at 4% share, they had voting rights. That was a problem for us. So that's what happens with contracts. You got to be on top of it. There is a one-time cost to them. And the attorney takes on the responsibility of representing you, representing your estate in the future. So that's why there's some cost to it. And there's language that has to go in there. And the attorney may read the language. He doesn't want to miss anything. So he has to take his time and go over everything slowly. There could be a phrase omitted. For example, on a private contract, you always want the phrase in there, credits belong to the seller. That's an important, we'll have a conversation about that one day, those couple of words. Whereas the DSOs, they usually own the accounts receivable. Excuse me. So that's just a quickie summary for you. All right? Enjoy it. It's getting cold out. We have the Greater New York meeting tomorrow. And we're excited to attend. Let's see what goes on. Monday, we're leaving for Arizona. We have activity going on out there. And then I think a week or two later, I'm heading out to Florida. I have like 3-4 practices. I have to get down there. So we're doing some cruising. And then, so Arizona, Monday, 2-3 weeks later. Florida, let me know if you're around. We'll get together, have a coffee or a cocktail. Great talking to you guys and ladies. Been a pleasure. Have fun every day.